AITAH for abusing my husband's ex-nanny and that's why he hit me? Using a burner account. English is not my first language, so forgive me for any mistakes. I, 31F, have been with my husband Daniel, 34M, for 12 years, married for 6. We have a 4-year-old son. For the most part, he is a wonderful, loving man, and we've had problems in our relationship only due to his ex-nanny. Martha, 45F, used to babysit Daniel when she was 19 to 21, since his parents were both very busy lawyers. She was fired after she took Daniel out on a late-night walk and they got mugged, where my husband was also pretty badly injured. Even after that, he kept in touch with Martha and still calls her Ma. He is very protective of her, and even when we were friends, dating, engaged or married, everyone told me to be on the good side of his ex-nanny, as she means a lot to him, so much so that he is still financially supporting her. Martha has a daughter Stella, 27F, with an unknown man, that she wanted to set up with Daniel, and still does. Even when we first met, she would make subtle comparisons between the both of us, like how Stella has such pale beautiful skin, and how I should get rid of my beach tan. How she knows that a true lady is for rearing her man's children, and not trying to compete with him by entering the workforce. You can tell I am not the biggest fan of Martha, even though I tried to like her or get her to like me, but her remark the first time we met made me instantly dislike her. She told me to stop smiling, that there was nothing funny about the situation, and to stop living in a delusion that my smile is pretty. Daniel said nothing at that. A week ago, Daniel and I got into a huge fight since he bought Martha and Stella another apartment and had them over while I was at work. I won't lie, I called his ex-nanny a whore who doesn't even know the father of her child and has birthed and raised another whore. At this, my calm husband instantly slapped me so hard that I was thrown to the floor. While I was still in shock, he began crying and hugging me, and apologizing repeatedly. He didn't leave me the whole night, so I packed my bags and left for my parents' home with our son the next morning. He has been calling and coming over my house repeatedly, apologizing and asking for another chance. I don't know what to do. My mum tells me I should talk to him since he seems pretty hurt. She doesn't know about the slap. Before this, he has never hit me and rarely ever raised his voice at me. Am I overreacting? Did I cross a line by his insulting his mother figure? I don't want my son to grow up in a broken home due to an emotional decision. Relevant comments. Lit 3 Lee 0N. Did you question him about that? If so, what did he say is his reason for not sticking up for you? This whole situation is kind of strange though. Why is he financially supporting these people? And why are you okay with it? Oop. Daniel is very protective of his ex-nanny. He rarely ever disagrees with her since he says she raised him. My husband is a lawyer and earns well enough. We had an agreement that we would contribute a certain portion of our salaries into our joint needs, and the rest we can have to ourselves to do whatever we want. That's his whatever he wants money that he is using to financially support Martha and Stella. Update February 6, 2024. I am a mess right now, so forgive any errors. My marriage is coming to an end. I told my parents that he hit me, and they were furious. They demanded that I immediately divorce him, and I am gonna do just that. Today afternoon, I agreed to meet him in my parents' yard. He was still not getting it. He brought all kinds of presents, immediately hugged me as soon as I saw him, and offered to buy another apartment for our family. I told him that I'd leave him if he didn't cut off his nanny and her daughter. He began crying once again. It hurt me to see him cry since he rarely ever does. He asked me to not make him choose since he loves me just as much as he loves them, and that I am the mother of his child, that it wouldn't be fair to our son to grow up in different homes. He told me that he owes his ex-nanny and her daughter because if it wasn't for him, Martha would be happy. I was always skeptical why he cared about her so much, but he'd always say she saved him. This was the first time he was saying something like this. I pressed on and told him to tell me the truth or we are over. He just said I wouldn't get it. I told him we are done, but then he wouldn't let me leave. He began saying how he would never sign the divorce papers, and won't let me go no matter what I do. It was scary, so I immediately called for my mom and dad. He still wouldn't budge until my dad threatened him with his gun, and he gave me this weird look before he went away. I was honestly never this scared of him, and had never seen this side of his before. He sounded mad that I was trying to leave him. I just want to get my divorce and live peacefully with my son. Edit, Stella is not Daniel's daughter. They look nothing alike. Moreover, Martha had Stella with a one-night stand, as it seems, because when I did ask Daniel about her father, he said he didn't know who he was, but it was a bastard who came one night, left, and ruined Ma. Relevant comments. Asperlav. NTA. I'm curious, have you ever discussed this with his parents about the closeness of the nanny and her trying to push her daughter on him? I would have tore him a new one for not sticking up for his wife and the mother of his child. Something very sick is going on here, and at the minimum she has him brainwashed into a mother-slash-son relationship but with an incest-like component. Oop. I am on good terms with his parents. Especially his mother, and she dislikes Martha as much as I do, but she doesn't directly confront her. Daniel is not close with his father, if anything, they don't get along, and on multiple occasions, whenever he is hit with the line that he's as good of a lawyer as his dad, he'd get mad, and say he is nothing like him. So, I don't think his dad could be a help in any way, they rarely talk, and he is almost NC with him.